Here's where things get serious. Let's learn how the loss of biodiversity leads to the decline of natural infrastructure. When this very biodiversity is lost, these services start to fail, and that's what we call biodiversity risk. Now, with biodiversity loss escalating, governments and markets are reacting with robust frameworks and regulations. Let's check out some of these policies. The European Union's biodiversity strategy for 2030 is a key pillar of the European Green Deal, which aims to save 30% of land and sea in the European Union, revive degraded ecosystems, and make sure that businesses minimize their impact on biodiversity across their operations and supply chains. Unlike Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, which helps with climate risk reporting, Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosures focuses on nature risk reporting. It offers a set of framework for companies and investors to identify, assess, and disclose nature-related risks and dependencies. The Science-Based Targets for Nature facilitate businesses in establishing measurable goals to lower their impact on land, oceans, freshwater, and biodiversity, seamlessly aligned with the planet's boundaries. The key takeaway here is that with the growing investor assessment and increasing policies, nature-related reporting is quickly gaining momentum, especially in the European Union and other financial hubs. Now, here's the good news. While biodiversity loss creates a huge risk to a seamless business flow, it also opens door to a better opportunity, an opportunity to reimagine business models that restore and regenerate nature rather than wiping it out. Nature-positive business stands on this very notion. It refers to proactively contributing to the ecosystem's well-being while simultaneously delivering long-term value to stakeholders. While reducing damage, nature-positive businesses create net positive impacts for biodiversity by designing operations, products, and collaborations that help make ecosystems much better than before. Let me share some of the best approaches businesses are taking. Investing in regenerative agriculture. Capitalizing on regenerative agriculture allows businesses to contribute to the restoration of soil health, biodiversity enhancement, and carbon sequestration. Several top companies worldwide are funding farmers to opt for regenerative farming methods such as no-till farming, cover cropping, and agroforestry in order to minimize carbon emissions and ensure long-term supply security. Restoring habitats in supply chains. In addition to reducing deforestation, some companies actively restore degraded ecosystems within their supply chains, be it restoring wetlands that support freshwater security or planting native trees in conservation areas. All such initiatives help redevelop the environmental assets businesses rely on. Collaborating with conservation organizations. Engaging in strategic partnerships with local communities and NGOs provides businesses with opportunities to co-develop conservation strategies. For instance, a fashion brand could support mangrove restoration in places from which it sources natural fibers. Now comes the best part, the competitive advantage of early movers. Let's understand how companies that integrate nature-positive strategies into their businesses will now define themselves as sustainability leaders. Regulatory preparedness. Early movers are robustly aligned with the forthcoming frameworks such as the TNFD or Global Biodiversity Targets. Investor confidence. Environmentally friendly commitments indicate minimal long-term risk and better ESG performance. Brand differentiation. Consumers nowadays seek brands that are inclined towards saving the planet and comply with environmental regulations. Innovation opportunities. Regenerative methods lead to innovation in materials, product design, and supply chain adaptability. So where does all this lead us? Truth be told, the future of biodiversity is regenerative, resilient, and business critical. We are currently living in a world where preserving biodiversity is not just a moral imperative, it's essential for long-term economic stability. In the forthcoming years, businesses will have no other choice than to disclose their nature-related risks, making accountability and transparency non-negotiable. Governments are coming up with stricter policies. emphasizing deforestation, land use, and supply chain impacts. For investors, biodiversity loss is more like a material financial risk, the impact of which they actively consider during ESG assessments and capital allocation decisions. What's exciting is that regenerative agriculture and AI-driven monitoring will become the new normal. To wrap it up, biodiversity risk is financial risk, and the businesses that act upon it at the earliest will build a more profitable and sustainable future. Thanks for tuning in. If this video gave you something to think about, go ahead and share, like, and subscribe to our channel. We have got a lot more such stuff coming your way. See you next time.